If you had to pick a word or an image of what it means to be a follower of Jesus, to be an obedient Christian, what would be the word that you would pick? Notice I just used the word obedient. The idea is like a little kid sitting in class doing exactly what he's supposed to do. And sometimes that's a good word. You have the idea of a child, of an heir. There's all sorts of words. But there's one word specifically that I think the Bible kind of references in a form of repetition that I don't think of very often. Listen to Psalm 92, verse number 12. The righteous will flourish like a palm tree. They will grow like a cedar of Lebanon. Planted in the house of the Lord, they will flourish in the courts of our God. Have you ever considered that God's desire for you individually, as a family, relationally, spiritually, is to flourish? It's not just to be obedient. It's not just to be exactly where we're supposed to be in life and doing the thing that we're supposed to do, although that's important. But the issue is life. It's an image and a picture of healthy growth, of strong growth. One of the things I love about the summertime as a golfer is you get in these seasons where there's enough rain, there's enough warmth, and specifically at night there's enough warmth that the grass begins to grow. That places that all winter long were bare or that were really thin, all of a sudden it begins to flourish. There's a thickness and a growth that's happening to it. Do you recognize that's God's desire for you as an individual, for you to experience vibrancy and life in every aspect of who you are as you obey Him and understand Him, as you allow His grace to penetrate your heart? That literally what sin does is it thins us out. It causes growth not to happen. It stunts growth within our lives. But God's love, when it penetrates our heart and truth and grace and the oxygen of His relationship, as it penetrates who we are, we begin to flourish in every aspect of life. And then it goes over into relationships, that relationships become easier. We can love better. We can receive love. There's less friction. Now, are you flourishing in life today? If there is some area of your life that just isn't defined and described by this healthy sense of growth, is it possible that for whatever reason, the light of God's love is not being allowed to shine on that area, or the refreshing nature of God's grace is not going there, or the oxygen of God's truth is not being able to dwell in that area of life, and at this moment it's stunting your growth? That's not God's desire for you. He desires for you to flourish emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, to grow. And if you and I will allow His love and His life and His grace and His truth to penetrate to the very depth of who we are, to pluck out anything that is there that would be hindering growth, and then to plug into who He is, we will begin to see a flourishing within our life. The righteous will flourish like a palm tree. Planted in the house of the Lord, they will flourish in the courts of our God. God desires for you to flourish today. Tap into Him and watch the growth happen.